Well, good evening, folks. Welcome back to the farm. Today our weather is doing some crazy stuff, let me tell you. The wind's been coming kind of out of the east, but switching back and forth between the north and the south. So we're not really sure what's going to come of that, but I'm pretty confident it's not going to be good. Usually when we get warm weather like this, you know, right around that 20-degree mark and the wind's coming out of the east, it's usually meaning we're going to get some pretty wicked thunderstorms in the days to come. So although I'll be looking forward to some rain, I'm not looking forward to everything that comes with it tomorrow. So I guess we'll see. Anyways, what are we looking at today? We are looking at the thermometer. Yes, over the course of the winter, we did do some composting trials behind the chicken house there, and we just kind of showed you, even inside the chicken house, how we can compost in the chicken house and keep the chicken house warm by composting pine shavings, chicken manure, and outside we had all kinds of stuff in there. Yesterday, was it yesterday? No, day before yesterday, I think it was, we piled up a bunch of old bedding, hay, straw, sheep manure inside the lambing pen and created kind of an adventure park for the lambs, which was interesting to see. But now I was out there this morning and boy, oh boy, was there ever a lot of steam coming off that pile. So I thought, you know what, to heck with it. Let's jam a thermometer in there, see how she goes. So I've also got my pail of piggy feed here with me. I'm gonna go feed up them little critters. The question was asked today, how much does it really cost to feed out a pig and how much will they eat? You know, while you're from a weaner pig to a butcher pig. And last year we raised 5 of them. We went through 5 big totes of grain, so right around 2,000 pounds each. And then some folks were saying, well, no, the math is wrong there. You really should only eat 4 pounds per pound of gain. And I was like, wow. Either we were way overfeeding or we were feeding a lot of magpies. I'm not sure what was going on there, but it's something we're definitely going to have to tighten up with the piggies we're running here now. So I just fed the pigs right here. And you can hear how jealous, holy man, how jealous the sheep are that the pigs are getting their supper and the sheep are not. Well, the sheep aren't getting grain treats. They were getting a whole bunch of grain leading up to lambing here. We've slacked that off because their conditioning is looking really, really good. They're getting lots of good hay, and they have full access to that big molasses tub with 28% protein, and so we really don't need to be supplementing with grain. They have a different opinion, apparently. So we're here with Kylee in the milking stand with her little lamb here, and he's just getting a drink. Really, really hoping that in the next, 24 to 48 hours, she kind of gets it together and picks up that motherly instinct, because right now, little lamb's needing some help to get some food for sure. So I actually had to give him another bottle there today, which is not on the agenda, but sometimes it's necessary. I just don't want to turn him into a bottle lamb. I really want I want her to pick it up and figure it out. Anyways, while these two figure out their family issues, let's go check that compost pile. So the pile here is actually probably half the size it was the other day. Some of that's compaction because I think the lamb's been running over it lots. And then of course lots of it's shrinkage. So without further ado, let's get to it here. So the outside temperature looks to be just 15.5 degrees Celsius. And I'm not gonna dig in the pile. I'm just gonna shove this in and see what we get. Well, it looks like right in the sides here we're only getting up to about 18-19 degrees. Now we're just gonna stick it in the top and see if we're getting hot, because there's steam coming off of it, so it's got to be getting up there. This is the area here where we're seeing steam come out of the pile, so that's where we're gonna go. Let's have a look at the thermometer and see where she goes. Like it's going right where it needs to be. So 132 degrees Fahrenheit, or 56 degrees Celsius. So anyways, that's really encouraging to see this pile get nice and hot. You know, because this is old hay, and for the most part, looks like there's not too much in the way of seed heads on there, but I'm sure there's going to be a good handful of them in there, and we want that pile to get up to that 130, 140 degree range and sit there for a couple weeks probably. It's going to do two things. It's going to kill all the pathogens, and then it's also going to kill all the weed seeds, so that when this breaks down into compost, we can put it directly in our garden, and we don't have to worry about all of a sudden there being a lawn grow up when there should be carrots and peas and whatnot. So along the edge here, as you saw when we originally shoved the thermometer in, you know, there's no incline in temperature. In fact, the temperature is dipping still. So really, this side of the pile is just very dry, and you know, I'm not going to sweat it too much, because I'm going to have to come back in a few days and turn this pile, and what's on the outside is going to become the inside, and what's on the inside is going to become the outside. And at that point in time, I'll probably chuck 3, 4, 5 buckets of water, just small buckets of water, on there, just to make sure that everything's nice and moist, and keep that heat and process happening. Now, the one thing with this is hot composting, right? This is not just garden waste and things like that. There's a lot of super rich manure in here. It's got urine, it's got feces, it's got old bedding, and so this stuff's not only going to run hot temperature wise, but it's going to run hot nitrogen wise. So the carbon to nitrogen balance, you know, that 30-to-1 ratio that you're always looking for in good composting, is probably going to be offset. It's probably going to be closer to 30-to-10, or I guess 3-to-1 if we're reducing fractions, but and that's fine. You will see there's going to be a lot of steaming, a lot of off-gassing. There will be a slight odor with this, because we're on the heavy side, on the nitrogen side, so you can be releasing a bit of ammonia. So that's one thing you want to consider if you're doing this. Where are you putting it? So for us, we put it on the east side of our house, because the prevailing wind comes from the southwest. And wouldn't you know it, the wind's been blowing out of the east for a couple of days, but we are still far enough south from the house that it's whipping straight by and not making a stink over in the yard. So, but when you get closer to the pig pen, you can smell this over top of the pig pen. So that should tell you how much ammonia is coming out of the pile. So this is why our pile gets a little bit compacted. The little lambs seem to just love this as a playground. They have all kinds of adventures up here. It is a lot of fun to watch. Hey Gertrude, how are you this evening? These two are Gertrude's lambs, boy. Are they ever a couple of really good looking lambs. And this is Beatrice's lamb. And the one behind is Beatrice's lamb too, with that Phantom of the Opera type coloration on her face there. Really beautiful coloring. Hey Todd. Coming to say hi? I gotta say though, I can't lie, I do have a bit of grass envy. I watch a few of the YouTube channels that are coming out from quite a bit south of here, and to look out over their pastures, and there's none of this like shades of yellow and brown. It's like a deep, rich green that we probably won't achieve until end of June, beginning of July. So yeah, I can't wait. I love spring and summer. My favorite time of year, late spring, early summer. It's not too cold, it's not too hot. You can get stuff done, you get lots of daylight. But we just don't get the greenery like everybody else does down south. I shouldn't complain though, because by rights, I mean, this is the nicest year we've ever had, like in a long time. And so really, when you're looking at what green we do have, I mean, we are spoiled. There's been years where, if you look back, and you know, Facebook memories is a good example of this, where 4 years ago we still had, you know, this much snow on the ground. So we'll take it. Anyways, I got to run into the shop here and wash about 170 eggs and get them all boxed up, and putting the fridge ready for some customers. So I better let you go for now. I hope you have a fantastic evening. We'll see you tomorrow.